Hey guys, welcome to Computer Programming 2. I'm excited at what we can learn this year. Computer Programming 2, it's launching off from what we learned in Computer Programming 1. So you guys are going to focus on class structures, object-oriented programming, using interfaces and abstract classes, using inheritance and polymorphism. We are going to be still programming stuff with Java. We're going to continue making text-based games, but we're allowed to go a little bit more complex. So things like text-based adventure games, we can do a lot of different types of card games, things like that, using all the stuff that we learned. Okay, my expectations are the 5 B's in all of Licking Heights High School policies and procedures. Be prepared, be on time, be respectful, be accountable, and be consistent. Failure to follow expectations, you get a warning and documentation. Second, parental contact and after-school detention. Third is administrative referral. I reserve the right to jump steps if needed, depending on the infraction. Necessary supplies. You guys will be doing screencasts in this class. So most project work is done in class due to software requirements. However, I do require that you have headphones with mic. If you do not have them, you can purchase them from me for $2, and they will be stored in a Ziploc bag with your name in it in the classroom for your use. If you have iPhone mic headphones and you need an adapter, I have some of those. I'll sell you them for $6. I buy them in bulk from Amazon. I don't make any guarantees on their operability. They're there if you need them. Willingness to work hard, and any additional supplies I will provide to you. Grading breakdown. 40% of the grade is projects. This is a project-based class. It's a blended, flipped, hybrid type class. So most of the work that you're doing in class is project-based. 20% of the grade is professionalism. 20% of the grade is quizzes, and 20% of the grade is your effort and time management. Okay. Professionalism, that's basically like I treat my classroom as a workplace. So if you are being a bad employee, if you are showing up late, you're walking in the door when the bell rings, you are late. That's professionalism. If you are distracting other employees from doing their work, if you are using your phone as a crutch instead of a tool, that is professionalism. Quizzes, we will be taking bi-weekly quizzes on the material that we learned. So it's your responsibility to make sure that you are learning the information and you know it for yourself. You're not just relying on someone else to teach it to you and just do your work for you. 20% of the grade is based on effort and time management. I am tracking, if you are watching my instructional material, and we also are using Trello to manage our project. So I'll kind of show you what that is. We will use this to track the time on the projects that we are doing, as well as tracking the progress and the things that we need to do in our project. So here's an example board. This would be an example of a list and another list. It's a Kanban card type system. So if you have something that you're doing like this card, and I finish this card, I'm going to move it into maybe a list that's called done, and I can see how it affects and the work that I still have to do. Okay, now a card, when I open it up, it can have a description, it can have a due date, it can have checklist items, it can have attachments. The attachments could be another card itself, where I could click on it and go to another card, or it could be YouTube links to your screencast that you're providing to me to check that you have learned the material. It could have checklist items that I could check off as I do things to let me know that I have finished that piece of the task of my project. I can have checklist items that are links to other cards that I could still check off. Okay, and these other cards, if I clicked on them, I could go to them. I can track the time that I have for these cards, and I will have more videos explaining this. But basically, we are using this. It's one of the industry standards for being able to have some type of project management for projects, not when we're, not just for when we're working individually, but when we're working as groups. So when you guys have a group project, which you will, you'll be able to individually break up the responsibilities and make sure that each person is getting their stuff done in the sprint that you have for each thing. When I say sprint, I'm talking about agile scrum management, to make sure that you guys are hitting your deadlines, your due dates for the stuff that you need to do, just like if you were working with, a AAA programming company. All right. Procedures. Entering the classroom, still the same. Students will enter the classroom quietly, sit in their assigned seats. You'll log into Google Classroom, and you'll get started on the Do Now activity. Passes, still the same. You can't leave within the first 10 minutes or last 10 minutes of class. You're only allowed 3 passes per quarter. Any passes that you have not used, I will give you 5 bonus points for each unused pass. You will not be granted a pass to interrupt a class. You will not be granted a pass to waste time. Malingering is a big pet peeve of mine. The bathroom is right down the hall. I'm expecting you to be back within 5 minutes. Failure to follow instructions will cause a loss of pass privileges for the remainder of the quarter. Food and drink. Food, gum, or candy is not allowed near the computers for any reason. Food and drink is allowed at the desk next to the door for the remainder of the class. If you need to drink something, you get up, you walk to that desk, you have your drink, you come back to your desk. Food, however, is not to be consumed during the class time. So you can bring it in, you can put it on the desk, but that's where it needs to stay. Cell phones and headphones. Again, I'm a big proponent of technology, but only to be used as a tool and not a crutch. So you are not using your cell phone for texting, making phone calls, going to social media sites, making purchases, any of that stuff. Cell phones are not to be plugged into the computers for any reason unless I give you permission. So you're not plugging your cell phones in just to charge it. Cell phones can be charged at the charging station that's in the back of the classroom, but I only have so many slots to charge, and it's at a first come, first served basis. If you choose to charge your cell phone at the charging station, it must remain there for the remainder of the class. Cell phones may only be used to help solve your problem or help in your learning. So, for example, if you didn't have your iPhone headphone adapter, you could use your cell phone, your iPhone, to watch the material that we have. That would be one way that you're using it to solve your problem. I'm expecting that you're not using headphones unless I direct you to, so you're not going to be walking in with headphones in your ears. If you are allowed to listen to music, it should not be loud enough that others can hear it. YouTube is not a resource that is allowed in this class for music. So if you are using the computer and I have allowed music, Pandora, that's fine. Your cell phone, you could use that for music if I have allowed it. Otherwise, YouTube is only used as a resource to try to solve your problems. Use it as a tool, not a crutch. Again, this is a no whining zone. Tardies, you come in tardy, come in quietly without disturbing the class. Either hand your pass to me or place it on the desk. Log into Google Classroom and get started on today's activities. If I need to get your attention, I'm going to clap twice. Once you hear me clap, stop whatever you're doing. Make eye contact with me. Remain quiet. I'm going to put something out that I feel is important or an issue that I see that every student is having. Once I finish, you guys can get back on your task. Getting my attention. If you need my help, you have the yellow flags that are on the side of your workstations. You put that up. You continue working, trying to work around your problem, working on your problem, doing some research. I will come to you when I'm available. Do not disturb others when you have your yellow flag up. That's not an excuse for you to start goofing off. If you need help, or have questions during instruction, then you raise your hand. I will call on you when I am finished. Moving around during class, you are expected to be in your seat working on the stuff given, unless given permission by me to start moving around in the class. At the end of the period, I will direct you when you're allowed to clean up your areas. When I say that you're allowed to clean up your areas, then you're going to also log off your system. You're going to pack up your belongings, and you're going to wait at your seats until I dismiss you. The bell does not dismiss you, I dismiss you. Homework. Most work needs to be done in class due to software requirements. However, preparing for the class by researching and reviewing materials is encouraged and expected. I am expecting you to spend approximately 5 to 10 hours every week researching material. If you don't understand the material that I have given you, do some research, pull up some YouTube videos, type some search criteria into Google, and try to read about the lesson that we're learning. Class time should be spent the majority of the time for actually doing the coding and trying to finish your projects. Late work. I only accept projects if it's past the due date, which sometimes it happens. I will only accept it for 2 days. After the due date, the original due date, you will lose 20% off of that grade. And I will only accept it for 2 days. The only exception to that is if you have a 504, which gives you additional time. However, I already plan extra time into all of my project deadlines. So if you have that, I'm not accepting it past a week. Late projects are not able to be graded after that final due date. Trello project tracking, the timing that you're putting in, it's a daily occurrence. It cannot be completed at the end of the project. That will grade you down. You need to do it daily. Tardy, my tardy policy is the same. First tardy is a warning. Second tardy, after school detention, serve Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday for 30 minutes. Third tardy, you lose 20 professionalism points. Your parents are notified. You get 2 30-minute detentions. Serve Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday after school. I am not doing Wednesday mornings. Fourth tardy or more, I'm taking an additional 20 points, and I'm referring you to administration. Absences, if it's excused, you have an extension equaling the number of days that you've been excused to get full credit. It's up to you to keep track of the stuff that you have missed. If you need additional time outside of class, you can use the form in Google Classroom and submit for me to stay after Monday and Tuesday. That's the times that I can be after school up to 4 o'clock. All work done is in Google Classroom. It's your responsibility to identify what you missed when you come back. Failure to turn in your work, even if you have an excused absence, will result in a 0. Any work that you have missed due to an unexcused absence will result in a 0. Again, I like the class to be collaborative. It's good for you guys to learn from each other and to learn from your mistakes. So I do encourage you guys to work together. So if you have an issue, the first thing that I'm expecting you to do is to use the technology that's afforded to you. Open up Google, do some searching, try to solve your problem. Open up YouTube, do a search, try to solve your problem. See if someone else has already come to that answer. If that is not a possibility, then you ask the person next to you. Ask one of your neighbors if they have any insight into your problem. If they do not, and you have not gotten your answer after those first 2, then you put up your flag to let me know you need some help. I will gladly help you if you have exhausted those first 2 options. If you have not exhausted those first 2 options, I will walk away. I'm expecting that you are trying to solve the problem yourself, because you will retain the information longer when you have to put some work into it. All right, welcome to Computer Programming 2. We're going to be doing some awesome stuff in this class.